on, folks? Today we're going to be installing a bed rack under the Ranger 1500. So we're going to get to unboxing. This bed rack is by Razorback. They're out of Idaho. Make super awesome products. So we're going to get this unboxed and start to assemble it and get it on the Ranger. Alright, first piece here coming out. Look at that. That is awesome. Nice job, Razorback. And second piece coming out right here. Again, really good job packaging this. They package it on the top and the bottom so it doesn't scratch any of the other metal pieces in there. Comes with these awesome American flag right here. Really cool. And then it's got kind of all these panels that you can attach different accessories to, which we'll show you. We've got a whole bunch of accessories to attach to this once we got it all constructed. And this last big piece, this will be the top. This piece is actually really light. It's awesome. Super cool. Really well done. Cool little Razorback logo there in the front. Utiliity accessories. Awesome product by them. This bag of hardware also comes in the box as well. And then within the bag there is this sheet similar to how Polaris does it. It gives you a website to go to where you can find all the instructions digitally. So good to know about if you do purchase this for yourself. First step in installing this, you're going to start with one of the side pieces. On this side piece, this is going to be the left-hand side piece right here. There are going to be these 3 holes along the bottom of it. So when in just a minute, go ahead and put the bolts through these holes. Just keep in mind that these are the holes that I am talking about. So we're going to lay this down flat. Just like this. For this step in the process, you're going to need 3 washers right here. All of this comes in the hardware kit. You're going to need 3 of these short bolts. There are long bolts and there are short bolts. You're going to need 3 of the short bolts for this step. And then you're going to need 3 of these channel nut pieces of hardware as well. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take some of the blue thread locker. Pop that cap off. I have not opened this yet, so we're going to open this. Alright, so you're going to put just a drop of this blue thread locker on each one of these bolts. Doesn't take much, just a very small amount. So you're going to take these washers. You're going to put the bolt through the washer. And you're going to come from the top of these 3 bolt holes that I was talking about earlier. Then you're going to take these channel pieces of hardware and you're going to just loosely thread them into the bottom. You're not going to tighten them down yet. And you're going to have them so that they are parallel with this piece of, with this side piece. We are now going to pick this up and bring it over here and place it into this lock and ride max system. Once it is into this system, you're going to slide it forward as much as you can until it hits against the black plastic piece at the top there. So there's this little piece right here that will hit against this piece up here. It won't go anywhere, you can just let it lean. But these channel lock pieces that you put on the bottom, you need them to be parallel because they need to sit into this lock and ride max system right here. And if they are perpendicular, they will not slide in. Alright, so just wanted to give you a better idea of how these side pieces sit into the rail here. So this right here is the channel lock nut they're going to put on the bottom of each of the pieces. So this side's already in, obviously. So I just wanted to show you on this side before we go ahead and install that piece. So this piece right here, you can see the silver rail right here. There are these little kind of notches in the rail. And so this piece right here is going to sit right in these notches. And again, like I said, in order for the piece to fit, the back bolt or the back lock nut is going to have to sit in the farthest back notch. And then the rest of them will sit in the according notches as you go forward. But if you put this nut in a farther up notch, that piece will not fit because it will be too far forward over here. So just make sure that when you put it in, it goes in the back notch with the back bolt, and it will slide right in. These are a half-inch socket. So we're just going to go ahead and take this, just put them all down. I wouldn't go all the way tight right now because we're going to need to attach this to the top and the other side. So just kind of snug it down right now is what I would do. As you put them down, one thing that can be really helpful, remember how we put the channel lock pieces in so that they were parallel? If you want, you can take a punch and just kind of rotate them so that they are then perpendicular with the Rock and Ride Max system, which will lock this piece in even more. They'll not go all the way perpendicular, but they will kind of go at a 45-degree angle, which is good enough. Now we're working with the right side piece. Gonna do the same process as we did with the left side piece. Gonna take these 3 bolts, put a little blue thread locker on them, and again we're gonna take these 3 big washers, put them on the bolt, and then put them through the 3 bolt holes on the bottom, just like with the left-hand side piece. We will go ahead and pick this up, just like with the left-hand side, and set it in. Again, putting the back one in on the back Rock and Ride Max notch, just like that. Then again, you're going to slide it forward until it hits that plastic piece right up here, just like on the other side. Sorry if you can't see my face. And then again, you're going to want to take that punch and just kind of push each channel lock nut in a little bit so that it's perpendicular, or as perpendicular as it can be, to the channel that it's sitting in. And then you're going to grab your 1/2-inch socket. You can start it by hand as much as you can. And then put the socket on there and start cranking it down. Again, I wouldn't go super tight right now because you might need to adjust these later when we put the top piece on. Awesome. And now that these 2 sides are on, we can work on getting the top installed and we'll be good to go. The final step here is going to be just to slide this basket into its place on top, and then we will secure it with all of its hardware. Slide it right into place. Awesome. And it can kind of just sit there while you install the hardware, excuse me. It's totally going to support itself. So now we'll just kind of go around and install the hardware and all the different holes that we need to put the hardware into. Alright, decided for this last part just to swap over to the GoPro so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So now that this top rack is in, you are just going to insert all of this hardware into their respective holes all the way around the top. So you can follow me as I do that. These do not need blue Loctite because they have locking nuts on the bottom of them. So just going to go in from the top here. I would just do everything finger tight to start, just to make sure that everything lines up, and then you can go back and tighten everything down. This can be a little deceptive back here because there is this hole that does line up with a bracket on the bottom from the side piece, but you are not going to put one in there. And then there's actually these 2 holes up on the back side of this top basket. They will put 2 bolts and washers, or excuse me, bolts and nuts into as well. Awesome. And then obviously all those 4 have been, the bolt is going in from the inside of the basket. On this outside one right here, you're going to put the bolt in from the outside, so the inside of the basket will have the washer, or excuse me, not the washer, the nut. So all the hardware is in for this left hand side. Go ahead and repeat it on the right hand side here. There we go. Awesome. And now all the hardware is in. I would probably get these as tight as you can when you do tighten them down. Then we have a 3/8 socket and then a 7/16 wrench. And the wrench goes on the back side with the nut. And you can just go ahead and tighten them down real quick. Again, kind of sandwich that side piece in to hold it in place. And we're done. Very nice and sturdy, doesn't move at all. Awesome. Next up, we'll show you some of the accessories that we're gonna hop down here gonna put on the side here. We have a chainsaw mount hole there, spare tire rack. We got a bunch of kind of molly systems to put on here to hold spare fuel cans, shovels, all sorts of stuff. So we'll go get all that unboxed and show you how that all looks when we get all that up there.